Welcome to She Loves It! And this week I have a very special guest that I'm super excited to bring to the poddy because we have worked together and known each other for a while now, and I've watched her step into her power and claim her unique genius. So it feels like really magical to be able to actually bring you on the podcast to talk about something that you're birthing at the moment and what has led that to come about. So, guys, this is Kayla Woo. Kayla is a creative human walking a spiritual path for life and business. She's a powerful priestess of play, a performer, singer, songwriter, author, and women's empowerment coach. Within her work, she empowers women to lovingly break free from the barriers that hold them back from fulfilling their dreams, to harnessing their wild feminine power to live a courageous and confident life, aligned to their purpose and the rhythm of their inner and outer seasons, so that they can embrace the playfulness that life can offer. She offers empowered women's circles and coaching work with creative, conscious entrepreneurs and creatives to unlock more joy and more play in their lives and lots of magic, working with the rhythms of nature, the elements, and the divine feminine. Woo! Yes, Kayla, welcome to She Loves It.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I've got my beautiful vagina necklace, which feels very appropriate.
Oh my
Custom
God.
made.
I love it. I love that you've rocked up with a vagina necklace and it's custom made. Like, that could not be more She Loves It if it tried.
Brilliant.
Oh wow. God, it's been like what a journey have we been on together, you know? It's so beautiful to see you like mid-launch, and we'll come to tell people all about your amazing Ignite the Creative Goddess Within program shortly. But like what a journey you've been on personally to really claim your playful creativity. Because I know one of the
Mm.
things that you like, am I right in saying that you've got a background in performance?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What kind of performance have you done, Kayla?
So I've been a performer for 20 years now, and I've basically reinvented myself throughout my career and always just leaned into what brings me pleasure and joy and gone, okay, I'm going in that direction now. So it's always been within the performance realm. So I started off dancing. Well, I've been dancing since I was 6, and then went on to university and studied dance and how all of the other art forms relate. So I did installation art, physical theatre, music, and then I went on to specialise and yeah, develop my own choreography and performances. And yeah, they've just been so helpful for my healing journey because it's about like just expressing what I need to communicate to other people, and if they resonate, fantastic. And I've chosen to do it through the lens of performance, yeah.
Amazing. Did you always know you wanted to perform, like since you were a little girl?
I did. I do feel like this is the path that's always been set before me. Like I have always danced in the living room spontaneously to any track that mum used to put on. I grew up with like Annie Lennox and Eurythmics, and they all like set my heart alight, my soul alight, and I'd just be dancing around, expressing. Um, yeah, I've just always danced really, and I came out bum first breech, so I kind
Oh.
of shuffle bummed out of the world as well.
So it started like on your exit from the womb. You were like,
Yeah,
I ain't coming out like every other motherfucker. I'm coming out.
yeah,
I'm gonna dance my way out. I absolutely love that. And it's like what I feel like I'm hearing you say is that actually the performance for you really is about the expression.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the performing element too, but recently for me, it's more the transformation.
Mm.
You
Would
know, a
you
bit
tell me
like
more
what you
about
say,
that?
Rachel, you know, like, you know, who, like, I love what you say in the, you know, containers I've been in with you of like, who do you get to be on the other side?
Mm,
And the performing is incredible, but it's just like the gifts and the magic that come with it. Because, oh, so basically, if I give you an example, recently I did a really brave thing and I did my first ever busking gig.
I just
And
love
I
that
didn't
so
even
much.
know I wanted to be a singer. I did when I was younger, but somewhere down the line, I was told lots of stories about what I was allowed and what wasn't for me. And I've reclaimed that story recently and been on quite an epic journey with my singing for the last 3 or 4 years, written songs. And so, yeah, I did a busking gig and it was empowering and amazing. I loved the adrenaline, the dopamine hit of actually performing. But when I was reflecting afterwards, I realized, and I was kind of like channeling, and I was in communication with the divine, and what I got through was that it wasn't really about the performing; it was about being in service to
Mm,
source and to see the joy that it brought everybody who walked past. And that was the magic of the gift of what this is, what any kind of performing or creative expression is about. It's, you know, it's just brilliant. It's so multifaceted and layers, but I just felt like totally in service to the divine, that I was really giving back. You know,
ah,
oh, it just was so beautiful. I'd like had so many moments. I was like, oh.
oh my God. That's so good. And it's so true, isn't it? It's like there's so, like you said, it's multifaceted and there's so many layers to it because when you said yes to that, like I did a podcast recently about saying yes to things and like that initiating new levels. Because when you go to a new edge, like you're in service to your own divinity because there's
Mm.
something in you asking to be expressed at a new edge. But you're also in, like you just identified, not only were you expanding yourself, but your act of courage, public courage, and like you sharing that vulnerability and that joy, it had a contagion effect. It like rippled out through all the people that saw you. And you sent me the video of you busking and it activated something in me. I was just like, yes, Kayla. Oh my God. I never even knew that was something I wanted to do. But watching you just so free and so powerful and so unapologetically sharing your gifts with the world, it proper activated me. It proper made me see like what else was possible. And I think that's one of the magic things that maybe I'd love to hear your perspective on this because obviously you've been in this world professionally and studied it. But I have this sense that like we've kind of like lost touch with some of the multi-dimensional layers of magic and transformation that can happen when we go to our edges in performance and in expression publicly, because we're sort of stuck in this like really tight confined box of perfectionism that industries and like professionalism, you know, it requires. And that, like, to me, I think that really kills people's creativity. And actually what, you know, when you're free like you are, that is has the opposite effect. It sets other people free to do their own creative work. Like, what's been your experience of that? How does
Mm.
that land?
Yeah, that's really, really, really amazing, actually. And I definitely see it as well playing out in different ways. I'm in this really fabulous music membership, and you know, a lot of the women who've are there have come from very like classical piano backgrounds and are very like stuck or stilted and have been told this is how you learn and this is how you do it, you know, and you can just see how shut down, and you know, like there's like a light has gone out, and
Oh,
I definitely felt that too. You know, I've been performing and teaching dance for 20 years, and as a teacher I got to the stage in my career where I did burn out because I lost the passion and the play of it, because it became too rigid for me, and teaching steps, um, and it just felt like it wasn't flowing anymore. And yeah, it just felt that the free expression that is so possible for all of us to access, because it's part of our God-given right, that we are all creative, and it's igniting it in a way that's really, I can't think what I'm trying to say.
Your hands, apologies to anyone who's listening to this, but I'll describe it. So, like, one of the things I watch for when I'm working with people is like what their hands are doing. So it's built into my brain. I'm watching Kayla and she's struggling, like, not struggling, she's like searching for the right words, but her body is telling me everything. Her hands are like, they're dancing, they're moving, they look like crackling fire. Like you're so even like your body was just expressing everything then. It's just magic.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That was a good time to interject too, as I was like, my words are crumbling away. Yeah, it feels a bit like I was sprinkling magic, or do you know what? I really didn't even realize I was doing it, to be honest.
That's why like I love watching people's hands because they I'm doing it as well now. Like I'm pointing my finger. They always tell a story. It's so cool. It's so cool. But God, there's so
Yeah,
much like there's so much in there, and it just loops round, doesn't it? Because you're a teacher of the wild divine feminine, and
mm,
like the wild divine feminine, I'd love to get your take on it and see how it corresponds with mine. Because I kind of feel like what we're when we're taught, like I love the way you said it, that the light goes out, because the light
mm,
is consciousness, right? It's the divine, that is the light. And literally we
yeah.
perfect the light. We're taught to try to perfect the light out of things, whereas the divine feminine, like, I don't know, what do you think about that? Like, how does the divine feminine approach differ from the kind of like, I'm gonna, perfect the light out of something?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because when you're perfecting something, well, oh, there's so much in this question, and I might forget your original question
Don't
of my
worry, let's
wonderful
just flow with
ADHD
it.
brain. But yeah, just about the perfectionism and the doing things from the outside in, and
Oh.
doing it that way round, where it's like it's all about the form, it's all about the structure. And I've come from that background as well, in the industry of like learning the steps, learning the counts, getting it right. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And it's so disempowering because, and I've been to auditions where I haven't made it, I haven't been chosen. And I've definitely got that narrative that I'm healing a lot at the moment, of not being chosen. And it's really like lots of inner work to do there. But that I've just realized just now on this call that that's what it's about, actually, as well. Like, whoa, moment. Yeah, that, yeah. So because, and that's the thing, it's like you're looking for external validation to be chosen. And what you have to do is choose yourself. And
Mm,
that's
yes.
where everything changes, because you choose you. You say that you are worthy and good enough, because that's what perfectionism is all about. Strip away all the layers. It's about, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. Because then I'm not allowed to make mistakes, get it wrong. So when you choose you, it brings everything back, like you said, to spirit, to love, to light, to source, to own your own magic from the inside out, where it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's about, does it feel good? Does it feel pleasurable? And to work with pleasure as the anchor to know that you are on the path of flow.
Oh my God. And I like made a little note in my book, because my memory is terrible. And right at the start of our conversation, you were saying that your career, you followed the path of pleasure, like you've charted a course of pleasure. So it seems
Mm,
really poignant and cool that you've brought up like pleasure as a navigational tool.
yeah.
Is that something you've always been plugged into?
I think subconsciously, but I think recently, from kind of doing a lot of like personal spiritual growth and really like listening and trusting myself, that's coming a lot more consciously to me now. That pleasure is, and I think I have always done that, yeah. And if something hasn't felt right in my body, I've just gone, no. You know, like when I told you before that I taught dance for 20 years, and then I went through a phase a few years ago where I literally threw away 20 years worth of lesson plans because I just knew that I was living and getting stuck in the shadow of look how good I used to be because I'm not doing that and comparing myself to an old version of myself that was outgrown, you know, and I had to trust that I would needed to throw all of that away because it wasn't serving me, it wasn't delighting me, it wasn't in my pleasure, and I had to throw it all away so that I could just trust that whatever I needed will come back to me.
Oh, so good. And because I did a similar thing about a year ago, where I threw away 20 years worth of journals. And like all this space opened up just from getting rid of this energetic stuff. And like, what have you noticed since getting rid of your dance plans? 20 years worth of work.
It really, actually, do you know, that's an interesting question because I don't always find it very easy to like reflect. Or maybe I
Mm.
do, but I do it so in the moment that then it's like gone or transmuted, finished, next thing. But yeah, I definitely feel, I don't feel so attached that my identity is everything is dance. Like I went through a real grieving phase of like, of you know, my career being so everything for me, you know, and I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer, I'm a teacher, and everything was so pinned on it. And it
Mm.
just didn't feel healthy because I'm that and more. And
So
you know,
much
you're
more.
everything and nothing, you know, it's all just, you know, like you say, I loved that thing you said on your beautiful yoga videos of like we're spirit jogging around in this animal body. Oh, love that phrase. Love that phrase, Rachel. And yeah, but I do feel like it really liberated me. I could release my stuck identity of I'm a teacher and I have to do that. I it helped me to really grieve it of like this doesn't have to be me anymore. And more recently I've even done more letting go with another coach I work with around being okay with not having to go back to something. This is the thing of when you've outgrown a dream and you think it's still your dream, and how do you know when it is or you're just holding on to a path because you're scared to move on? And this is what I had to do. I had to release all of that. And now I'm like, you know, I don't teach in a teaching, I'm not a teacher. I've been trying to shed that teacher, you know, oh, you know, you're not going to, like, I'm not going to sit you down and talk at you, you know. I take you on experiential journeys where you know the wisdom that you need to hear. And I needed to be able to shed all that stuff so I could really step into that, you know.
Like I feel like it's really I love it when there's a synchronicity, and I'm going through a similar thing of kind of like shifting identities and not quite sure who I am anymore and where I fit into everything. And when I was at Mind Body Spirit, I was chatting with another person who said almost this a very very similar thing to you about, well, that was I'm living the dream of a past self, but it doesn't fit anymore. And I just think it's such an interesting
Mm.
thing to talk about. I don't hear many people talk about that. And like you've obviously just been navigating that. And I'm just wondering like what I don't know, what insights and what advice you have for anybody who's asking themselves questions about that. Like, am I living a dream that doesn't fit anymore? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
I think that the way that I've been able to really get honest, and it has taken me quite a while because I've been really like holding on. I mean, I recently deleted a WhatsApp community that I was part of, which was a dance network, because I was just feeling like I didn't fit and I was feeling like it was making me feel sad about myself. So I think getting really, really quiet with yourself, really sitting in the quiet place, and listening to what needs to come through, whether you connect with your heart, whether you connect with your womb, wherever your energetic center feels like that kind of buzzy place of possibility that feels really grounded and wise, and just listen to what you really, really, truly want and need and desire. I love those three questions. They're quite big questions, but they're also quite grounded, earthy questions that feel like I can answer those. And so I would just get really quiet with yourself and yeah, just really hear what you need. And also the only way you're going to know if it's still your dream is to step into the messy action of trying it out. Like I didn't know that busking was truly my dream until I was standing there doing it. And then I went, yep, that's for me, you know. And last year I went and did a dance workshop with lots of little kids. And I love little kids. I've got little kids. I know now. I don't want to teach kids like that anymore. It's like, and it's just about being really honest with yourself, actually. And this is where the being authentic and the wild woman is all about, just being really true and honest with yourself.
So
You
good.
know?
So good. What were those three questions that if someone was in that position, I'll use me as an example because I'm like, do I need to let go of my identity as a yoga teacher? Do I need to just close that
Mm.
chapter? Or do I, because I just can't seem to let it go. Like I can't let it go. What are the three questions that you were saying
Yeah.
to ask that quiet power center?
I knew it was about the yoga.
Yeah.
So well, first of all, I will say the three questions, but one thing that really also helped me shift into this doesn't have to be who I am anymore. And right, so there's a book called The Gap and the Gain. So it's about like, rather than seeing, it's a bit like what you say about lack belief versus plentitude, of like, I was seeing and grieving all the things I'd lost and in the gap, and rather than thinking of what have I gained, and I went back through my timeline of everything that I've done in my career related to dance. So that could be something to do is go back in through all of your timeline of yoga, how you started, all the different things of the medicine you've received. That's you living in the gain, and you take all of that with you now into the next phase of who you are, and therefore you can maybe separate and let that go, because you will take what you need, and
Mm,
it's part of you can't, and just trusting in that.
mm,
And the three questions were, what do I need, which is kind of like your basics in life, but you could always like lean it into the question for a career question, like what do I really need from
mm.
yoga or from the thing. And then you can either sit with that with your heart or your womb, or you might want to go straight into journaling, however, whatever your persuasion is. And then what do I need? What did I say? Sorry. What do I need? What do I want?
Mm.
Because sometimes that's different between the needs and wants. What do I want? And then what do I desire? Like what sets me alive, sets me alight. So there's that. And then the final
Love
thought I'll say is, that I was working with this music coach, and she said to me, because I said to her, sorry, she said to me, she said to me, I'm just talking to myself here, Rachel, sorry.
She loves it.
I said to her, because she's a professional singer, and now she does online coaching, and she's got this lovely membership that I'm part of, and I've been working in her programs for 3-4 years now.
Mm.
And I said to her, why did you give up being a professional singer? Because I was like, but because surely that's the dream, that's the success, that's the dream. And she said that she thought that too. But now she's a coach and she's transforming other people's lives to do their dreams. She says that's she said singing and being a performer was my caterpillar, and now I'm doing the coaching, that's my butterfly. And
Oh,
she said, isn't that amazing?
so
Yeah.
good.
And she said maybe your dance career was your caterpillar, and now the singing, and the coaching and the online stuff, that's your butterfly.
Butterfly. Oh, I love that. Love that. And that's like those questions are so good. And I think what you were saying about the gap in the gain, I'm definitely going to go away and like that's already alchemized some stuff in me to think about in terms of my own situation. So I just yeah, that's so helpful. It's so helpful and to it's really awesome to like hear all of your wisdom in this space and to be able to share it because I just know that that is going to help people and as well that concept of like the caterpillar and the butterfly and what I was hearing in that as well rightly or wrongly but what my sense of that as well was like there's something in there around the dream
Mm,
versus your dream like the dream is kind of like the pathway it's like there's the mountain and that's the top of the mountain but actually when you really tune into your authentic self you might not want to climb a fucking mountain might want to go whitewater rafting and so actually you might the dream is to get to the top of the mountain but your dream is to be in the white knuckle whitewater raft like going along or like for me I don't know why but I've always had this vision when I think about going with the flow in life. I always imagine myself in a hot country in a rubber ring with a cocktail. And I'm just
mm,
floating really slowly down the river, drinking my cocktail in my rubber ring. So, like, maybe that's my dream, Maybe there's no mountain to climb. That's the dream. But all of us, like, it's about being authentic again, isn't it? It's about connecting with what is true and real and alive within us, not what I think
yeah,
you said it earlier, doing things from the outside in. I wrote it down because I thought it was so good. That's the difference. Like the theme keeps coming back. It's doing things from the inside out versus the outside in.
definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. You
Oh,
lie on the Nido with your cocktail.
I will. It's a rubber ring. It's
Can I
like
come and
one of
join
those
you? Oh, okay.
giant tight. Like, have you ever seen them in? I think I had a friend who went traveling around like Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam, and they were telling me that that's what you do. Everyone has these giant rubber rings, and you just float down to the next booze station, and then you get some more cocktail, and then you float. And I'm just like that. That is what my life should be about. That is my vibe.
Love it.
Oh man.
Oh, amazing.
What do you think? Because something that just struck me as well is like the relationship between pleasure and play.
Oh,
I know, right? And so, just for context, you amazing folks listening, Kayla, I really wanted to share this because I just think it's very cool. Kayla and I have two gene keys relating to like pleasure and delight and lightness and wisdom and resourcefulness. We have them in the same place, these two separate gene keys in exactly the same place in our gene key charts. And it makes so much sense because so much of what we've talked about together is pleasure, creativity, freedom,
Mm.
play, and that is the number 46 gene key in a nutshell. Like if we're too serious, we cut ourselves off from the flow of like money essentially actually, but also creativity and magic and all of that stuff like when we're too serious. And I feel like there's a massive relationship between pleasure and play. And I know like I've always seen in you that because one of the things we didn't mention is that you at one point you were doing clowning.
That was a yeah, clowning is has been incredible. Last year I went on quite a few clown workshops and decided to become a clown, and I'm Fizz the clown because I'm quite
Oh,
fizzy.
I
Um
love it.
and yeah, but what for me, what the magic of clowning is so much more about like the life coaching aspects of it, of like, because being a clown is, or we all have an inner clown. It's like, oh, it is for me. I realize that's the world woman archetype is like, well, it's about showing up in pure play and joy and the spontaneity of it and the absolute fascination and curiosity with the world around you. It's like when I did the training, we had to look as if we were looking at something for the first time. And like you were a small child and you'd never seen this thing. And it was like, oh my God, look at that beautiful colour on the wall of the line of the brick. Oh, look how it shines in the sun. And you had to get really excited about this. Like,
Oh, I love it.
you know, because as adults, we get so tunnel vision in our routine and our structure in our day and our thoughts and our brain. We forget to really look and see the magic that's all around. And like you were saying about the pleasure, about like what brings you pleasure and joy.
Mm.
And that is where the play magic of play comes, and then the creativity is born, you know. And this is why I love exploring it through the elements of nature, because nature is such a wonderful muse to channel your excitement and curiosity. Like, wow, like, you know, you can, I love listening to the bird song and I can get lost in the sounds of the birds, or look at a leaf swaying and look at all the things that are moving in nature, and then look at what's still in nature and just get lost down that, you know, hole of wonder. And yeah, that's what it's for me. That's what the magic of clowning has taught me, really, of like, again, it's about being authentic and listening and trusting your nudges to live a
Wow.
playful, fun life, really. You know, like I did write down a little note, which I'll read, which was about,
I told Kayla she's
um,
not allowed to use notes. I was like, it's not that kind of podcast.
you wrote something down. I'm allowed to say one note.
Just because I
It
can't. Oh,
basically,
yeah, that's true.
it just says it's about allowing yourself to feel truly happy and in love with life.
Oh, I love that. And that is like that is that is line 46 and gene key 46 and 48. 48 is like the wisdom of that ultimate
Mm,
wisdom, and 46 is like that is pure 46, like living in delight and ecstasy and the simplicity. I so resonate with that. I so resonate on it. And I feel like again this is something that you and we've talked about at length, and we really share because I certainly feel like we've lost our capacity. We're living in the shadow of seriousness as a collective
mm,
species. So many people are
yes.
living in the shadow of seriousness. And like, I've always looked at what you're doing and thought, God, that woman is here to bring the opposite of seriousness. And what medicine, what vital medicine that is for people. But which I think brings
Yes.
really nicely to your course, which I'm so excited you're doing. Tell
Oh,
everyone about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this course birthed last year, didn't it? And it was still in its infancy. And Rachel, you were very helpful and for helping me to kind of realize the magic of the course. And I call it a course, not course,
Course, not course.
because I'm, not here to be a teacher for you. In that respect, anyway, it's like shedding. It's like being shedding the perfectionism for me around business as well is about shedding this kind of professional expert thing of doing business a certain way, blah blah blah. So I mean, this course is all about that and more. So I'm going to try and stop calling it a course.
Oh, sorry, that's my fault. I called
What
it a
should I
course.
call it? I'll call it an embodied journey
I
of
actually love,
fun.
like, I love the fact you call it a course, not course, because it's like slightly awkward to say, which I love. And it's kind of like it sort of is a little bit of a joke. It's a little bit of a jibe but in a like hee hee. Like I love that. It captures the playfulness of it
Yeah,
so beautifully. But yeah, yeah, it was called. It's like your ode to play and pleasure and creativity, isn't it? It's called. Remind
yeah.
me. It's called Ignite, right?
Yes, it's called Ignite Your Creative Goddess.
Ah,
And the idea is that it is like an ignition to remember and reignite what turns you on in life. What is your passions? What have you always wanted to do? And about taking playful, bold, messy action towards it, in the
oh.
most delightful, delicious, fun, silly way, and giving you full permission to show up however you are as good enough and play and have fun and laugh. And if a fart comes out, fantastic. It's all good.
Oh my God, I love it. So what kind of thing could people who are hearing this and they've heard you talk now and they're like, "Oh my God, I know I need that medicine." What kind of thing could they
Yeah.
expect in Ignite?
So it's going to be four 4 to 5 weeks. I'm still kind of, I'll probably give a whole month. It's like a month online container where there'll be 4 calls on Zoom, and each one will be a beautiful activation ceremony based on the 4 elements of nature. So the first week is exploring the fire element, and we'll be doing a fear burning ritual together to, burn away any kind of limiting beliefs and things that no longer serve. And I'm really good at holding the lightness with the play with the profound, so it's a light space to be held in, and a safe space to be able to, go a little bit deeper, to see where the fears are and to burn them. And it's such a powerful thing to burn away fears with actual paper and candle. So that's the first week. And then the second week is all about air, and it's about the inspiration. We've looked at so with the fire as well, we'll be looking at the sparks and the beginning of the flame, and like what's there, what are the desires coming through for you now that you've created and cleared a little bit of space.
Mhm.
And then the air is really about speaking your truth, really allowing the expression with the air to come through. And that week we'll be doing vision board workshop and playing in that way to, yeah, begin to see what's going to come and what's going to manifest for everybody. The
Amazing.
third week will be earth, and we'll be celebrating your earth as your body, as your temple, to really nurture your needs, to create good boundaries for yourself. And we're going to be doing an altar creation
Oh,
play to be able to step into. So you've got somewhere to go as your anchor
nice.
to ignite your passions. And then the
Beautiful.
final week for water will all be about the celebration of, what you've stepped into, what you've allowed yourself to receive. So we're opening the energetic cauldron to receive, receive, receive,
Oh,
you know, and to see where that can take you in your next steps. So that's the Zoom part. And then interlaced with that will be lots of playful invitations, journal prompts. I've got this beautiful, fun bingo card where
Oh,
each day is like a new nature connection invitation to play and have fun. And, you know, people could do that with their family members as well, that part, if they wanted to bring that in.
sounds
Yeah,
amazing. I honestly, it sounds incredible. When does it start?
we start on the 1st of July.
1st of July. Awesome.
Yeah,
And how
Tuesday
much?
evening.
Tuesday evenings. And how
Yeah.
much does it cost?
At the moment, the early bird rate is 222.
When does that
That's
stop?
pounds. And then that stops about 48 hours before we start, and then it goes up to 333.
Awesome. So currently at the early bird of 222, goes up at the end of June, more or less, ready
Yeah.
for the 1st of July start. Oh my God, I'm gonna put a link to that in the show notes for people because it just sounds amazing. And I feel like it is exactly the medicine that so many people need right now. Mixing spirit, mixing nature, mixing understanding of the elements and how they work in life, mixing that spark, that creativity, and that absolute pleasurable playfulness that you are the priestess of. Yeah, it sounds amazing. So I hope you guys will go
Oh, thank
check
you.
that out. Oh, Kayla, it has been incredible. I feel like I've learned so much talking to you, and I feel like there's just so much resonance between, what we do and what we show up and share with people, and it's just beautiful being able to have you on this podcast sharing your incredible wisdom.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rachel. I've loved it as well. It's so beautiful.
My
Yeah, just to
absolute pleasure.
share.
Oh, and thank you so much for listening. This has been me, Rachel Smith-Bone, and the amazing Kayla Woo, who got blindsided at the last minute realizing this was a video and went and did a superb job glamming up. I am loving those earrings big time. If you are loving the podcast, please do me a favor and leave me a 5-star review because it really helps. And please tell your friends about this podcast because I want to spread a joyful, embodied, truthful, authentic revolution of love. And that's how we do it. We share. Thank you so
Mm.
much, Kayla. You're amazing. And
Thank
I will
you.
catch you all next time.
Yay.